now it's time for us to take a look at what our national dailies are saying. And as usual, we start with the weekend trust. The major story there says, Buhari's political legacy, who takes over? I mean, that's what we're just talking about now. Who do you think can take over Buhari's legacy at this point?
This is what we talked about in the Daybreak yesterday, the discussion segment. Who is going to inherit Buhari's legacy, hence leadership and what have you. And we still haven't really
figured out.
Exactly, because I think it's too early to start thinking about that, but lots of people are speculating. We have lots of northern leaders, not even northern Nigerian leaders, but I don't think any leader will be loved, like I said earlier, the way Buhari was and is loved in Nigeria. We just have to keep our fingers crossed, and see what happens. I don't even have anybody in mind, any leader in mind that would inherit his legacy and everything.
It's sad to see that, I saw a lot of videos, like I said, people, talking about and analyzing the whole situation. Someone saying it's sad how he's already gone and, people are thinking of how to move on and what have you. So imagine if you are the one on seat, as you are gone, they are already thinking of replacing you with someone. But then, we're talking about legacy, looking at achievements, looking at things that, Buhari has done. I mean, it's going to be difficult to have any military, president to take over from him. The people that were close to was, let's say, Abdul Salam.
Yes, exactly.
Which is also, I think, I don't know if it's a rumor, but allegedly I was told that he was also sick in London as well as of, some days back. But these are the people that, if maybe given chance, because they are still elders, that we can actually look at and say, okay, yes, in the north we still have Babangida, but these are older people that we're talking about. But who is going to inherit him is what we don't know, because definitely we're hoping it's going to come from a younger politician, definitely not, I don't know, but let's leave that to Nigerians to decide. Go through page 4 for more details on that. And then from battlefield to royalty, generals turned traditional rulers. You can find details on page 10. And then above the belt, how Cabal bypassed me, smuggled memos to Buhari. This is coming from Gambari. I mean, a lot of things that, it's going to keep coming out. Go through page 14 for more details. Kanu's a threat to break up Nigeria, not a joke. FG. Wow. This, I don't know. They said, Garbashi, who also, they said he vindicated Kanu. A lot of people are saying, oh, Kanu, they said, I mean, the crazy one that I even heard is when they said Buhari died since 2017, 2018. And I kept wondering, how can people even sit down and think of things like that? Like, does God give someone else double life, that the person will die and come back? I mean, there are features of Buhari that you can't just say that Buhari is not Buhari. How is it even possible? How will his family even, I don't know. But then talking about Kanu, saying that, and why I'm saying this is because I was told, they said it's Kanu that said, some years ago that Buhari has died since. So, I mean, a lot of controversies around this person that makes, a lot of things not to just, I don't know. Go through page 14 for more details. Tinubu appoints IBB son, others as heads of agencies. We'll go through page 14 for more details on that. Your security not guaranteed without clearance. Pebolo warns OB. You can find details on page 23. Remember, I was telling you earlier, and that
you mentioned this earlier before
and it was a whole discussion, like how can a governor be warning an ex-governor not to come, because he went to Edo, he donated 15 million, and after he left, they said 3 people died. And some chaos here and there, and then so hence he came out to speak and what have you. But go through page 23 for more details on that. And ICPC arraigns civil servants over diversion of World Bank's funds. I mean, that's a whole lot to deal with, because at this point, why a whole World Bank touch their funds? You're going to deal with it. You're going to have to face a whole lot of I don't know, criticisms for the ICPC being a body that fights for money laundering and what have you. We'll go through page 23 for more details.
I am speechless because I'm just imagining what the civil servants will have to deal with.
Yeah, because I remember during when Buhari was still alive, when they talked about merging EFCC and ICPC because they were doing similar jobs, even though they are agencies that stand on their own. And then seeing this, is actually a whole lot that Nigerians will definitely want to see what's happening, because we keep arresting, we're saying, oh, we're fighting corruption, and then we keep seeing this kind of thing happening. Go through page 23 for more details, and then you can make sure that you grab a copy for yourself, because there's a whole lot for you to go through here. And that's the much that we have for the Weekend Trust this morning.
And now to Saturday Tribune. Body written in Saturday Tribune is Nigerians say enough to flawed federation, flawed constitution. Well, Nigerian has been saying enough to flawed federation, flawed government, flawed constitution for a very long time. For more details about this headline, you go to page 5 of the Tribune. At the top left, Atiku's resignation neither a surprise nor a threat. Fatima, I saw this coming. Atiku's resignation from PDP. He is one of the big shots in the ADC coalition, and we all saw this coming. We even talked about it at some time ago. Though it's not as surprising or shocking. So some people criticize that why will he submit a letter when people are mourning, Nigerians are mourning Buhari. And in another report that came out yesterday, PDP were calling Peter Obi to come back to PDP.
Yeah, they said they are certain that he will come back in future. Same thing they said about Atiku, that he would come back. I mean, Damagun said it's not the first time that he has left, and they are just waiting to see what happens.
Is he really
they feel he's going to come back,
coalition?
and they have already said that him resigning is not going to affect the party. But at the end of the day, you can't take away political conflict and crisis within parties. Party crisis always keeps happening. One way or the other, there will be a fraction that doesn't agree with something, and there are some that will agree, and then...
Because Peter Obi is part of the coalition, and Atiku is part of the coalition, and both of them are aspirants, presidential aspirants. Of course, one person is not going to agree to become a vice president. Yeah. So, of course, one person has to leave the coalition.
We know that, Atiku has always vied for president, never for a vice president after he was the vice president when Obasanjo was still a president, when they were together. So, I don't think he would want to go for a vice at this point.
Well, to read that story, you go to page 6 of Tribune. FIRS laments revenue loss via MDA's negligence. This story is right in page 6 of Tribune. Without a restructured security system, Nigeria risks becoming Sudan, says Colonel Tony Nilam. Well, this story is very interesting, and you can get it in page 13 of the Tribune. Makinde wife installed as Are Omoalabi Yeye Are Omoalabi of Akure Kingdom. She's been installed. To read this story of installation, I think she's given a real title. You go to page 5 of Tribune. At the bottom left, bandits kill 6, abduct more than 100 in Zamfara. This is appalling. We hear stories of bandits killing, abduction, insecurity here and there, especially in the northeastern Nigeria. We just hope this comes to an end very soon. Well, we can find this story in page 5 of Tribune. Ekiti seeks 175.75 million naira NRDF grant to diversify economy. You can get this in page 6 of Tribune, and this is the much we can take in Saturday Tribune.
Well, now let's quickly take a look at Saturday Punch, and the major story there says, inside £3,500 per day, elite London clinic where Buhari died. And then the rider says hospital boost, modern equipment, 900 doctors, treat over 120,000 patients yearly. And then another rider says NMA, MDCAN, NARD condemn leaders' lavish medical tourism. You can find details on page 4. I mean, I saw a lot of people coming out to say Nigeria is still the one paying for Buhari's hospital bills up until when he died, and then the sum came out, some saying 3,000, some saying 3,500. And for a leader that is not corrupted, for a leader that didn't steal the Nigerian funds like we have seen other politicians do. I mean, when I look at people like Amechi coming out to say a lot of his comments, so controversial comments that you cannot take away, which we already know, and he knows that Nigerians know that there are people that are stealing the country's money. Talking about someone like Buhari, I feel to some extent he deserves this the much that he deserves. I mean, a lot of people were also talking about even his home where he was buried. There's really not much to show for. I've seen our analysts like Jide Ojo talking about not me being sure if he has a house in Abuja. We know that he has a house in Kaduna. We know he has a house in Daura. I think that's the much that there is. And also there are a lot of people coming out to say, oh, he even told his children that they're not going to inherit anything from him. So, and don't forget when he came out to even contest, they said he had to even, at the time go to the bank to take a loan just to pay the sum of 27 million just for the form that he was trying to get for president, and he was complaining it was much. So for someone that if he has stolen as much as millions, he wouldn't find himself doing all that.
And as an ex-president, I think there are benefits you get from the Nigerian government, even after office. So I don't see any reason why, just like I said, people will still criticize, but there are benefits they get. Even after his death, when you're working, his family has benefits. Yeah. So I don't know why.
I mean, he's not the only president that has come and gone. Let's talk about the late Yar'Adua also, who was a president. I mean, just because people don't come out to talk about things like that doesn't mean his family or when he died, they don't have the benefit of him being a president or, what have you, and being a politician. There's so much, a lot to talk about. But go through page 4 for more details on this particular story. And then we see online spell market where spiritualists prey on love seekers. They use this whole juju thing to just blind people to say, well, you're looking for this, you're looking for that. And this is actually sad that we are still seeing people falling, victims to this kind of thing. But go through page 20 and 21 for more details. 150 billion presidential jet returns from South Africa after refurbishment. Go through page 4 for more details. Eco Atlantic land hits 2 billion per plot. Wow. I mean, and you say that Nigeria does not have money, you say that people are struggling, but you still see people going to buy this lands in this Eco Atlantic land.
You wonder where those monies are coming out from.
I mean, I don't know. It's this. We'll go through page 26, I beg your pardon, for more details. And then Awujale opted for Muslim burial to avoid ritual killings. This is coming from a chief imam. Go through page 14 for more details. And then beside it, it's painful. Awujale dined with traditionalists but chose Muslim burial. This is coming from a chief priest. So I mean, there's a chief imam saying he chose, and then the chief priest who is showing his pain that this tradition that they normally believe in did not happen. Well, you can still find details on page 2 of the Punch. I regret dating a married man. This is coming from Esther Nwachukwu. Just go through page 17 for more details. Imagine best among 7,000 candidates, reward for my resilience. This is coming from a first-class law school graduate. You can find story on page 25. APC kicks against ADC, accuses Tinubu of politicizing Buhari's death. You can find details on page 10 of the Punch. That's the much that there is for Punch this morning.
And on Saturday, Vanguard, on the constitutional review, Nigerians propose a single 6-year tenure for presidents, governors, to avoid the use of public funds for re-election campaigns, disruption of governance, rather. So I think this is a welcome development, if you ask me. Instead of the 2-term, 4 years, 8 years, a single 6-year tenure for presidents
it's something
okay.
that we've talked about it a long time ago. That okay, instead of 8 years, maybe they can just do a 6-year straight, and then when you're done, you're done. But you know that a lot of politicians will not want this,
because the first time they actually do a great job, and the second time is for flexing the money and
so I'm sure a lot. This will not go anywhere as far as I'm concerned. But it's a good proposal, but I don't think it's going to see the light of the day.
To read more details on this, go to page 10 of Vanguard. At the top left, Cabal exploited Buhari's weak moment to smuggle in memes, says Gambari. You can find this on page 9 of the Vanguard. Don't ever come to Edo State without my clearance. You have no right to do so. CUPP replies the governor. I think I agree with the CUPP on this. This is what Fatima just read in the Weekend Trust just earlier. Breakthrough ITES uses AI to predict heart attack strokes 10 years in advance. You can find this on page 39, I beg your pardon, 30 of Vanguard. Nigerians has been using AI for different things. Fatima, and for now they have started, they want to use AI to predict heart attacks. Is this going to go well?
AI is coming to take over a whole lot of things. I mean, if I tell you the bunch of things that AI is doing and is going to do, it's scary actually. Sitting down, finding out some things on your own that AI is doing. You yourself, you won't even know how you even came up with the idea, and now they want to even use it. How? I don't know. Everything is technology. So
AI. Do you know AI does news anchoring and what have you now?
Yeah, I've seen the videos.
It's everywhere. You don't even know what is real and what is AI right now.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But you will know that it's AI because there are words. The human touch is not there.
Yeah, there's no human touch.
So definitely when you see that, you will know that it's AI.
Well, if you want to know how AI will predict heart attacks, strokes 10 years in advance, go to page 30 of Vanguard. I traveled in diapers, holding alligator pepper and bitter cola, says Owolabi Salis, first Nigerian in space. He traveled in diapers. Well, this is an interesting read, and you can find it in page 15 of the Vanguard. Tinubu appoints IBB's son as chairman of Bank of Agriculture. I mean, if he is capable and he is an expert on what he does, I don't think the criticisms will reach anywhere. Go to page 7 of Vanguard to read this. Kanu court to rule on motion to stop trial on October 10th. You can find this in page 8 of Vanguard, and this is the much you can take in Vanguard, Saturday Vanguard actually.
Well, let's quickly take a look at the Guardian this morning. And the major story there says, lean yields frustrates dairy industry's desire to meet high local demand. Well, I mean, you can see the picture, the sketch, or should I say the cartoon of, cow. There's no milk because farms are not producing anything for the cows to also get something to feed on. I mean, farms are being destroyed by, bandits and terrorists, and, insecurity has taken a lot of the livelihood from, people, and definitely it affects, things like this, and you won't even know what to do at this point. Is it for you to feed or to feed your animals for you to be able to also make a living from what you're getting from there? We'll go through page 8 and 9 for more details. 2027 Southwest governors urged to endorse a Tinubu. You can find details on page 36. I mean, I saw someone saying that the APC, they are in a rush to do the 2027 election. So I don't know if the endorsement and everything, but it has to start somewhere and as early as possible for people to know who is doing what. So we're 2025 is almost over.
And once it's over, 2026
is going to be all campaigns, and then
it's all campaigns already.
It's going to be elections. So there's basically just like 15 to 16 months left, entirely for the whole elections.
Well, in as much as a lot can happen in 2 years,
roughly, let's say maybe 18 months.
2 years is not such a long time anymore. It should be still it's 4 months to go out of 2025. 2026 is kickstart election and campaigns, and before you know it, 2027 is election.
Yeah. So go through page 36, like I said earlier, for more details. FG begins 10 billion Aso Rock solar power project as national grid challenges persist. Well, this is something that we talked about a couple of months ago earlier, when we read the renovation for the vice president, and then we saw the 10 million for the Aso Villa, because the huge amount is going to the Aso Villa, because that's where. So if this is cut down, I think it's going to lessen the whole what's it called, challenges that the Greek is having of supplying power to different places, because the Aso Villa is definitely huge. And so this amount. But then go through page 2 for more details. Alleged 29 billion fraud. Buhari's death scuttles ex-governor Nyako's plea bargain bid. You can find details on page 3. PCNGI debunks pulling down list of approved conversion centers from its website. You can find details on page 36. Who will cry when our leaders die? That's a good question. We are still going to be the ones to cry. It is always going to be people that are against and for. There are people that love Buhari. There are people that don't like him. There are people that don't love him. There are people that love him for being Buhari, but maybe don't like something. So there are some people will always cry. I mean, we've seen a lot of people crying.
No matter how
talking about how Buhari's legacy has impacted their lives, how his leadership has impacted their lives, and what have you. So a lot of people will cry, but find details on The Guardian this morning. And then we need amendment to our laws to tackle illicit financial flows. Yes, I totally agree with this, because a lot of things needs to be done. And, we keep saying we want to tackle, illicit financial flows, but we still see a lot of money laundering still being, carried out. So go through page 10 for more details. Fears as Ibadan Ile-Ife Road remains death trap despite repairs. I mean, you can see the picture up there. I don't know, it's very small, but then it looks very bad. And, it's going to, issues like this keeps happening to our roads. There's going to be more of insecurity, because the axis where they know the roads are bad, you always find something totally just wrong, either accidents, one thing, because some people may not even know that the road is bad. And this is even after repair. So if you're wondering what kind of repairs did they do, that it's already peeling off.
You know that the kind of repairs, Fatima, most roads are bad in Nigeria. I think we have more bad roads than good roads in Nigeria, and that's why it's one of the key factors of that elevates insecurity. Like you said, these bad guys knows these roads, they know where it's bad. They just go there, potholes, and camp there. And when you come, of course, you're going to be a victim.
Yeah, totally. Well, that's the much that we have for our national dailies this morning.